And that is French Russia. Napoleon's wet dream comes true. And this is what we control of the wood. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. We had an amazing run with France. First, we dominated World War II and formed the European Union. Then we turned non-aligned to bring back Napoleon and the French Empire. The Allies were no match for us, and Napoleon could finally avenge Waterloo. But this run deserved a grand finale, and the only obvious choice was to end it in Russia, where the real Napoleon's ambitions were dramatically crushed in what was probably his most staggering defeat. Naturally, if you haven't watched them yet, make sure to check out the previous episodes to see exactly how we got to this point. I will also include a link to the playlist in the description. Before we start, as usual, if you have been following the channel and enjoying the content I make, please do not forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing and leaving a comment. Also feel free to let me know in the comments if you have any doubts or suggestions for further improvements. Now that's really all for the introduction, so let's get straight into our initial setup for the Russian campaign. As usual, keep in mind that focuses and researches will not be covered in the edited version of the video, but you can find them in the description. Now, after defeating the UK, we went after the United States, which are now our puppet, and before ending that run, we also took care of Japan, which is now also our puppet. So now we will need to reassign a bit our divisions and bring them back to Europe. Although, to be honest, having some divisions in Japan may be convenient in case you want to go after Russia from here and take Vladivostok. This can speed up the process in Russia a little bit, especially considering that I was a bit unlucky with my spies. One of them got caught while spying in Vladivostok, and so we're a bit behind with collaboration governments. When you attack the Soviet Union, you definitely want at least one collaboration government, otherwise you need to go all the way to Siberia to end the war. But getting two could be very convenient so that you can end the war by just taking Baku, probably Stalingrad, Moscow and Leningrad. In any case, for this particular run, we are not going to invade Vladivostok, although later on we may consider calling Japan into the war, and our Japanese puppet may be able to do that by themselves. So for the offensive against the Soviet Union, we are going to go from old times Prussia, so from this area. And we are not going to call up our puppets, so instead we are going to use them as buffer states and to create encirclements and destroy the Russian divisions. So for this offensive against Russia, we are going to use all our divisions, all of the main divisions we have, so 3 main offensive armies and 4 main defensive armies. These guys are the ones in Japan. They got a bit damaged by the naval invasion, so for now we're going to send them back here. We will also train them when they get there. The other ones are already in France and they're already ready. So we're going to set up one of these armies in this area here, and we're going to go for a spearhead to cut off the divisions along the coast and try to get Riga and Kaunas. Yeah, this is not what I want. Yeah, something like this should work. The main point here is getting Riga and Kaunas. When you attack the Soviet Union, you always want to push for supply hubs. It's very, very important to have supplies. And then we are going to kill the encircled divisions in here. With the second offensive, we are going to start a different push south of this river. And with this second offensive, we are still going for Kaunas, then we are going for Vilnius, Grodno, and Bialystok. we are on purpose going to leave some space to the Soviet divisions in here, and then later on we are going to expand along this area while leaving Soviets space in here, so that we can create a big encirclement and kill a lot of Soviet divisions down here.
Attention.
We are immediately going to assign one defensive army to the entire front here, but pay attention that you don't want to assign them to Poland, only this part of the front. While not to overload our supply hubs in here, we are going to keep the other armies back for now. We're not going to use them. We also want to train everyone, make sure that we have all of our divisions at full strength and training when we start our offensive. Of course, we already have a claim on the Soviet Union because we completed the focus return to Borodino, which is in perfect style, I mean, which fits perfectly the title of this run, and Napoleon avenging his staggering defeat in the Soviet Union. Now, speaking of supplies, we want to make sure that we have full infrastructures, but also we want to upgrade the supply hubs in the area. So we can do it from here. We select them one by one and we upgrade them to the maximum level, which mostly means upgrading the railways usually. We can do it in Poland too, but the most important ones are in here. We are building other stuff, but right now our highest priority is indeed to upgrade these hubs. So let's make it our priority. We will have a lot of free civilian factories later on, so we can just use them to keep improving infrastructures and hubs as we push into the Soviet Union. Now, I would also expect to have quite a bit of planes, and that's quite a lot. So let's deploy and train all of these planes. Now we're also going to adjust our mountaineers here. Not that we particularly need them, but sometimes Chile decides to become extremely annoying in this run. And if they attack especially Japan, which is what they usually do, then we will need to invade them to end the war. And we can do it from Panama, which is now our puppet United States. But for that, it would be nice to have a dedicated army. And of course, Marines would be better, but still, in South America, there are a lot of mountains, so having some mountaineers would be good as well. And to fix them in the best possible way, I'm going to I'm actually going to remove one battalion of mountaineers and add one artillery, so that we get the combat width to 25 to perfectly match the mountains. We are also going to add anti-air, engineer company, and then as soon as possible we are going to add artillery and cavalry recon as well. We also want to train as many as possible, which is only 6, but that's okay, because in any case the naval invasion is only up to 10 divisions, so that's going to be perfect. It's going to be a total of 10. Another thing that we want to make sure of is that our collaboration government in the Soviet Union is set to automatically repeat, which it wasn't, because otherwise it's very easy to miss it. They now even removed the notification, so I always miss it, and if it's not on automatically repeat, we will not get another one, which, as I mentioned earlier, is quite important. Okay, with this our setup is done. Let me make a save just in case. And by the way, if you're watching the unedited version here, you have some spoilers of what is coming next. It would be fun. Also, let me make sure that the recording is fine. Yes, everything is fine. Okay, perfect. Okay, then we can start and let our units and divisions get ready. By the way, yes, our fleet. We can also gather our fleet now. Originally, I was also going for a naval invasion of Leningrad, but I find it to be a little tricky. Sometimes it doesn't work. It's not the safest option, so we're not going for any naval invasion, and we're going to use most of our fleets to just protect the convoys. We can send them back to Europe as well.
Attention.
Just going to train the planes a little bit more, and then we can start our offensive. Also wait for the fleet to get here. Okay, perfect. Alright, so I set our fleets on convoy escort. And I would say that our planes are pretty much trained, so I will make sure that they have offensive orders are signed, and we can declare war on the Soviet Union and start our offensives. We're going to start both offensives at the same time. Let's slow down the game a little bit here, but I will keep it at speed 4 because the Soviet Union takes quite a while. Now, one thing though is this fleet decided that they didn't feel like protecting my convoys at the moment. It's not great. I'm going to force them to do so. And the first push seems to be going very well, quite successful. We will even get an encirclement here. And we can push these divisions along the coast, get rid of them. And with 3 civilian factories, as I mentioned, we can keep upgrading everything. Oh, okay, very nice. The northern offensive was incredibly successful. We were able to take Riga very easily, and from Riga, from this area in general, we can start the next push, which is going to be along the railway. One more thing, guys, when you plan an offensive, in addition to always checking where the supply hubs are, so in this case here and here, always check the railways, because if you get the supply hub without railways, you're not going to get any supplies. And while the hubs are a bit tricky to see on the map, you can kind of see the railways fairly easily. So try to plan your offensive to follow the railways, like in this case. We see the railways being here, so we push something like this, and then we try to take... Why would you push like that? What the fuck is that? Okay, so we follow the railways like this, and then we try to take the other hubs, except we didn't take Pskov this time. Third time, the charm. So we follow the railways this way, try to get the hub, make sure that you're getting it, and then try to... For fuck's sake. Okay. Okay, I will not talk about it. I will not say anything. So this time it's probably going to work. Why? Why would you go like that? What's the fucking deal with you? No. Don't go there. No. Okay, then go here. So more or less something like this. You follow the railways, you try to get the hubs and the connections between them.
Attention.
Down here we still haven't gotten Vilnius, so let's try to get that first of all. And by the way, as usual, I'm pushing the Soviet Union in winter. I tend to do this in every single run. I'm not sure exactly why it happens, but that's the case. Nothing we can do about it.
Attention.
I'm actually going to remove the mountaineers from this army here. And then for the defensive line, from now on, I find it more convenient to assign a marshal line rather than individually the various defensive lines. So you select your marshal instead, you go for a front line, and you do something like this. I hope they are doing it. No, they're not doing it. Okay, perfect. Why not? Why is nothing working? Okay. First you cancel all of the orders you assigned to your defensive armies, then you select your marshal and you assign a marshal line in this way. So the advantage of doing that is that now your marshal will automatically micromanage your divisions and assign them to cover the entire front. It's a little less micro-intensive compared to assigning these armies individually. You can do it for offensive armies as well, but for my offensives I prefer to have more control over what is happening. While for defensive armies, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter much. Let's keep upgrading everything in here, including the supply hubs.
Gardez vos rangs.
And here we need to reassign our divisions a little bit for the next push. And the next push will be to the area of Minsk, but once again we want to follow the railways. So you can see the railways going down here, so let's follow this one and try to take this chunk of land. By the way, did they get here? Okay, they got here. So soon we will add also our third offensive army, but maybe they can train a little bit more before that. So far everything is going according to plans, and we can keep the pressure up here. For these guys, maybe a little bit of training before we push. We did take some casualties apparently. Okay, that's perfect. Now our defensive armies are still getting in position, so I guess we can upgrade the Mountaineers since we are going to use them later. I assume that I already took all of the doctrines, yes. Okay, see, this is why I hate these guys. No, I did tell them to push them there. Okay, yeah, that's fine then. Now, as you can see, we are struggling for supplies because Pskov is quite far from the other supply hubs, so we need to get it as fast as possible.
Attention.
It would also be very good to take this one, because this one is much closer.
Bougez-vous.
And these guys can definitely start their own push for Minsk.
Attention.
Okay, we took the hubs. We will need a little bit to stabilize this part of the front, but overall it went well. We can also stop this offensive now. And there we go. Amazing Chile deciding to be extremely annoying. Now what this does is it pulls Japan into the war, and that's not too bad because Japan has a decent amount of divisions, and usually what they do is they invade Vladivostok, which I absolutely do not mind. So that will in the end actually even help us. Oh, by the way, we have some convoys raided, so let's get Encourage Frugality so we get rid of that Malus, which is annoying. But the problem is nobody will invade Chile if we don't do it. So we will need to take care of Chile ourselves. And we're going to do that with the Mountaineers that we just got. Somewhere in here. Okay, so we assign all Mountaineers to the same army, and then we are going to send them all to Panama. Since it's exactly 10 divisions, we can already plan the naval invasion of Chile from Panama. Now, Chile is annoying, it's fairly long, and you need to take many of their victory points for them to capitulate. We're going for groups of 2, and we're going to hope that we are able to disembark without too many issues.
Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Gardez vos rangs.
At this point of the run, they probably even have some divisions. So we try to spread around all of Chile so that we have some divisions all across the coast of Chile. So we go for something like this. Then, of course, we will need a fleet in there. And we can probably do something like this. We can reassign one of the 2 fleets. We don't need all of them in here. So this fleet here will go to Chile. For now, they will go here, because we don't want to overload the supply hubs in Panama. In fact, we want to improve infrastructure, supply hubs, and naval bases in Panama. And then we want to make sure that our other fleet is now covering all of the regions that were under the secondary fleet. So we keep the supply under control. Now, of course, here, as you can see, we have a great chance for encirclements, so we can try to get this one, I think. Let's also make sure that these guys are training. I will not trigger this naval invasion in any case until they're all fully trained. Okay, nice. Very nice encirclements in here.
Attention.
That's not nice, but that's okay.
Gardez vos rangs. Pas de pitié.
It would be very nice to get this encirclement here. Looks like we're not gonna get it easily, but I still want it. So we're going to set our army, offensive army, in here and try to get this encirclement, and why not even a few more hubs in the area. Looks like the northern army will not be under so much pressure, so we can keep pushing up here. The first goal will be to take the northern coast, and then we are going to go for Novgorod and Leningrad. But keep in mind that Novgorod unfortunately is not a hub, so here it will be a struggle for supplies until we get to Leningrad. So the northern army will struggle a little bit. Okay, these guys are almost ready, so we will soon get a third offensive army, which is going to help massively. There we go.
Attention.
So our third offensive army will push the central part of the Soviet Union, and the first thing they can do in here is they can help with this encirclement and then help take Smolensk. Not like this.
Gardez vos rangs.
Except they are not going. Oh, okay, here.
Attention. Attention.
Okay, let's try to get this encirclement here now. If we can. Perfect.
Bougez-vous.
Now let's kill these divisions. The Soviet Union has a lot of divisions, so getting big encirclements like these is very convenient against them. We already got this one. Okay. Simple line. And yeah, by the way, in the case of the Mountaineers, now we cannot, no, we cannot add anything because I just spent all of the points, but we can add the Rangers later on, not the Cavalry Recon.
Gardez vos rangs.
Let's start the push in the north.
Gardez vos rangs.
And this is very nice. This is exactly what you want to
Gardez
see.
vos rangs.
Okay, now we can go back to the original plan, which is to push with the Southern Army. With the Southern Army, we are going to push along the railways for Bobrushk. Terrible pronunciation for sure. We follow the railway, we go for Zitomir, follow the railways and take this chunk of land here. Then later on we are going to go for Kiev, Vinnytsia and close this big encirclement.
Attention.
Now, these guys are no longer needed exactly where they were before, but they can push the central part of the Soviet Union and go to Vitebsk, Smolensk, and yeah, something like this, and Mogilev. We have some more hubs to upgrade. It's a bit tedious, but try to keep upgrading the hubs. Because it is very important for our supplies.
Attention.
I think we will get another nice encirclement in here. Fantastic.
Arrêt.
Unless they are running away, which they may. Yeah, they are. Let's try to stop them. Make sure to take them out completely in here, otherwise it can be a little annoying.
Gardez vos rangs.
Yeah, our Mountaineers are almost in
Attention.
position.
Pareil.
What are we doing with the collaboration government? Okay, we are getting ready for the second one.
Gardez vos rangs.
Okay, now we got the push done here, and as I mentioned earlier, now there is the toughest one, which is going to be pushing Leningrad. We're going to try for a big push, something like this, and to take this area. And we want at least one of these two supply hubs until we get it.
Attention.
It will be painful. I'm going to use a staff office plan in here. And I'm going to start very soon this offensive. It doesn't look like they have a lot of divisions in here, so I think we can push. By the way, let's assign some new planes, which we surely have in great quantity. So that our third army, offensive army in here also has some. Maybe give them a little bit more fighters. Now, of course, technically it would be better to assign some fighters in here to protect this area, but I'm a bit lazy to do so. The other thing we can do is we can build some air bases in here. Just because we don't have anything else to do with our factories, so at least we get more air coverage and air support.
Pareil.
And it seems like these guys are basically ready, so I will start this push and then we will see how it goes for this one. Okay, civil war in Mexico. This tends to happen, but luckily our Mexico is quite strong. So I think our puppet Mexico can take care of it. Otherwise, I guess you could request forces from the United States and help them, or even send the mountaineers, which are already in here. But it shouldn't really be needed. And by the way, since we are now training these mountaineers, I will take army training to train them a bit faster.
Gardez vos rangs.
Yeah, the Cristiada.
Gardez vos rangs.
Let's see if we can pressure them enough here to remove some of the divisions they have up here. Otherwise, this push will be very painful.
Allez, on se bouge.
And the Soviet Union declaring war on Iran doesn't really concern us very much. This concerns us. Let's also sign trades whenever you can.
Pareil.
Okay, guys, I'm going to try this push here in the north. Let's see how it goes. That seems much better than I expected.
Pareil.
Of course, when I mentioned Chile, oh, it's not considered a major. I'm pretty sure at some point that Chile will be considered a major, because usually they are considered a major. That's very stupid, they shouldn't be considered a major, but usually they are. In any case, if they are not, we will maybe wait a little longer for our naval invasion. Are we going to get Leningrad? Oh, nice. It's very smooth. With Leningrad, the northern part of this push will be much easier, and that's Japan. That's Japan doing their job. Look at this. As I mentioned... Oh. No, nothing. That's fine. Yeah, look at this. Look at the Japanese doing something useful for once. Great job. This will speed up the fall of the Soviet Union. Very convenient for us. Now that we got this other chunk of land, with this offensive army, we are going to make one decisive push, maybe the most important one, not the most difficult one though. So Kiev, along the railways, Venezia, but then we want to close this encirclement like this.
Attention.
Oh, and very nice, we got to Smolensk here. So that's perfect. Now we have a bridgehead inside their land, which we can expand a little bit. Always check for supply hubs. So it wouldn't be bad to take this one and this one, for example, now. We're going to go for a push in this area. I wonder if we can go all the way to Moscow. Probably we can. So, a big spearhead into the heart of the Soviet Union. Of course, the real Napoleon also got to Moscow, and unlike Hitler, he was able to conquer Moscow, except nobody was there. It was quite disappointing for him. And probably his win, his victory in Moscow was the beginning of the defeat in the Soviet Union for Napoleon. And hopefully it's not going to be the same for us. By the way, we are developing the Soviet Union more than they have ever seen in their lives. They should thank me for this invasion, because they have never seen so much development.
Gardez vos rangs.
Look at these prime French railways in the Soviet Union.
Attention.
By the way, let me make sure that everybody has the maximum motorization priority. Should already be the case, but particularly important here.
Attention.
Okay, there is one last supply hub in here that I want to take, and then I do not actually want to expand further in this area. This is mostly wastelands, and there is no victory points. There is absolutely no point in pushing further in that area. Instead, we can go down, take maybe this hub, but then go down to this area here. And in case we need to, we can go all the way to Yaroslav. Now, where was the hub? Right here.
Okay. Gardez vos rangs.
Okay, I think we can go for Kiev. Look at how good our divisions are. The Soviet Union has a lot of divisions. We killed a lot of them. I mean, we already caused them 1.3 million casualties. But they do have a lot of divisions. And pushing like this when using only infantry is quite amazing. This is something you can usually achieve with tanks. But the main advantage, of course, with infantry is that we have 3 full armies able to push in that way at the same time. So that's fantastic. We take a little bit more casualties. As you can see, our casualties are 92k, which is decently high. But as you can see up here, we can definitely afford that. Not a big deal. And we got the encirclement. Perfect. Okay, now we want to close this encirclement. They got absolutely nowhere to go, these guys. So this will be the end for quite a lot of Soviet divisions. I don't know the exact amount, but quite a lot. So let's prepare and do that.
Gardez vos rangs. Attention.
Meanwhile, I think we can start the push for Moscow.
Gardez vos
And
rangs.
maybe some support from the north as well. Everything is going very well.
Gardez vos rangs.
We can also start this push because they don't really have a lot of divisions in there. And the dude got immediately wounded. Instantly wounded.
Gardez vos rangs.
Okay, our mountaineers are actually fully trained, which means I'm actually going to assign them to this army, so they get the bonuses, full bonuses. And now for the fleet, however, we need to do something a little bit tricky here, because it's not that easy to get the naval superiority down here. So we're going to use a very basic trick, actually. So take away the carriers, the battleships, the battle cruisers. I don't know if the heavy cruisers also have enough range. But yeah, let's say the heavy cruisers as well. The other ones, we can split them into 2. We can send them here. And these ships with higher range, we are going to move them directly to the coast of Chile. We're going to do something similar to what we do with the Soviet Union or Japan when we invade the Netherlands. So basically, by moving them here, we make sure that we can trigger the naval superiority in all of these regions at the same time. Except these guys decided that they didn't really feel like doing what I told them. They just wanted to chill in Wilhelmstad instead. Good, are you stupid piece of shit. Sorry about that. The Navy makes me mad in this game. The Navy makes me incredibly mad in this game. But the reality is that we should be already fine, except, did I remember to give them... Yeah, they have the naval order. Okay, that's fine then. It's totally fine. Okay, now let's see if we can get this done. So, naval superiority, and if everything looks green, and that's the case, we should be able to trigger it immediately, and then we don't care anymore about what happens in there. And by the way, we have 3 military factories, but I really have no idea what to produce anymore, so... yeah, I'm just going to ignore that.
Attention.
Okay, our mountaineers started their naval invasion. I will need to pay a little bit of attention to them. And while I wasn't looking, of course, here they completely messed up the front. That's fine. We did close the encirclement, which was the most important thing. And now we can push to the southern coast here. And we can get another small encirclement in the area of Odessa. So that's totally fine. Oh, by the way, I didn't see this encirclement here. See, there are some good news as well.
Attention.
Do need some of these guys to close it. That's a lot of divisions in there. That's fantastic.
Attention. Gardez vos rangs.
Let's see if we can do something like this, maybe. A bit brutal. Oh, Moscow. Wow. That was fast. We did take Moscow very quickly, but I also need to pay attention to them. Paying attention to 2 fronts at the same time can be a little tricky. Maybe I need to slow down the speed a little bit. Let's do that.
Gardez vos rangs.
Nice. Another huge amount of Soviet divisions. Look at the casualties, guys. Just a little bit ago it was 1.2 million. And now it's 3.1. It's insane the amount of casualties we caused them. Our casualties increased by like 10,000. And their casualties increased by 2 million. Insane. So, are we winning? Yeah, our Mexico is winning. That's great. And our Japan is doing an amazing job here in the Soviet Union. So, great job, everyone.
Attention.
Now, still very worried about them, but they will take forever anyway. Chile is still not considered a major, so probably this naval invasion was not needed. But it's good. It's a good thing that I planned it, because in most of my runs, in the test runs, Chile was considered a major. So, I guess you want to be ready for that case, that scenario. Now here, I'm going to push along the railway to take Volgda, and Yaroslav. But then I think we're going to stop here. Hopefully we don't need anything else. These guys here instead can push further south. So here we have some juicy victory points to take. Or maybe we can do something like this.
Attention.
And these guys can already start their offensive. And the Soviets basically here encircled themselves even more. That's very nice of them.
Pareil.
Oh, you know, I forgot completely to add the... Well, our mountaineers are not at full power, because I forgot to add the artillery and cavalry recon in the end, or better, rangers. Well, it's okay, we'll do it now. We'll do it now, like when they are in the middle of the sea, so they can definitely not get the reinforcements they need. What could go wrong? If needed, we can also use a force attack here, because Would be very nice to be able to disembark. Okay, Mexico is
Continuez
out.
d'avancer.
Oh, we were not able to disembark at all. Okay. Let's see if we can get at least one. Then we can move from there. Okay, let's do this first. Yeah, okay, looks like at least a couple of harbors we will be able to take. That's fine.
Attention.
You know.
Attention. Arrêt.
Can't you just go here? Yeah. Do it. Oh, nice. We disembark here too. Perfect.
Continuez l'attaque.
Look at that. You can even push in the mountains. You can even make use of the fact that you are mountaineers. How amazing is that?
Attention. Bougez-vous.
Problem is, we will need to take northern Chile, I'm pretty sure.
Gardez vos rangs.
Okay, let's push with them too. Oh, look at these! Very nice. A lot of divisions in Odessa got trapped and will be completely destroyed. Perfect. Very happy. Now, in here, of course, our final goal is to go for Stalingrad, but before that, we can maybe go for Kursk. Notorious target these days, let's say. And here we may be able to get another encirclement. Hopefully not an empty one like this one.
Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Bougez-vous.
Okay, I overall see good things happening here.
Bougez-vous. Pas de pitié.
Chile doesn't have that many divisions, so losing them for them is particularly painful. But we do need to take this area as well, for sure.
Gardez vos rangs.
So they will organize their defense around there, I assume.
Attention. Bougez-vous.
It's a lot of divisions down there, which we do not need. We need them up here.
Gardez vos rangs.
I will start this offensive too. They love making encirclements and then they just leave them there to chill. They don't like closing them at all. Let's do it now. Development is coming. What can we integrate here? No, I don't want to annex the United States. It's actually not needed. Can we actually take the main purpose, the main goal of our offensive? And the Soviet Union probably is not doing very good here. Let's see how the collaboration government is doing. Yeah, with this collaboration government, if we take Stalingrad, probably the war will be already over, which would be fantastic.
Gardez vos rangs. Attention.
As for them, I think we can just maybe use an offensive line at this point.
Pareil.
So I can pay more attention to the Soviet Union while they do their stuff
Attention.
by themselves. Now, one annoying thing here is Crimea, because this opens a new front. So let's try to take it. And here we got another big encirclement to close.
Attention.
I forgot who is pushing where. Okay, these guys are pushing here. And up here we don't need to push that much, but what we could do is we could push for Gorky. Maybe Penza. And possibly Saratov. I just told him to stop attacking and he got wounded.
Pareil.
Oh, these are very good news. No more Chile in the way. That's perfect. Because now there are absolutely no other majors to take care of. And of course Chile wasn't considered a major, but now it wouldn't matter anyway.
Continuez l'attaque. Gardez vos rangs. Attention.
Okay, now down here I'm going to push in this way. I'm going to take Rostov and we're going to get another encirclement possibly in there.
Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Attention.
It was the sound of the naval invasion, which seems quite unlikely. It's the sound of a large ship getting destroyed. That's okay. We have a lot of them.
Attention.
Let's easily close this encirclement
Attention.
and kill everyone.
Attention. Pareil.
Yeah, see, this is the problem with Crimea. I would need to send an army there to take care of them. And I'm a bit too lazy to do that right now. I mean, it is okay. We can do it because now we basically have too many armies in here anyway. So let's do something like this. With this army, we push Saratov, Stalingrad, and Rostov.
Gardez vos rangs.
And this other army, we send it to take care of Crimea. And I will also readjust a bit this Marshall front because I feel like it got messed up a little bit.
Attention.
Let's get another. So what do we get? Combat casualties. So let's get another Exhort Heroism to get rid of the Malus.
Attention.
And let's push Crimea.
Gardez vos rangs.
And Rostov and Stalingrad. And possibly end the war. Especially if we get the second collab. We may end the war before we get the second collab.
Attention.
Because with Sevastopol and Rostov and Stalingrad, the Soviet Union will be very low on victory points, thanks to our Japanese friends. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this naval invasion, Japan, but
Attention.
I appreciate the effort.
Gardez vos rangs.
And we'll go back to speed 4. Now, one advantage of taking strategically important Crimea is that now we can start a big push in here. And they will not be ready to defend.
Pareil.
Oh, this is a nice trade to get.
Gardez vos rangs.
Okay, let's expand from Crimea into Russia. And let's see if taking Stalingrad will already end this war.
Gardez vos rangs.
Probably not. Not, but maybe Baku will land the war then. So at this point, in terms of pushing, it makes probably more sense to go for an offensive line and just expand to decrease their victory points rather than going for specific targets, which we do not have anyway. Because now, from now on, there isn't really much in terms of victory points, which is why taking down the Soviet Union without collaboration governments is so painful. Because after you get to this point, there is basically nothing until you get to Siberia. And of course, in Siberia, there isn't that much either. That's really painful. Basically, at this point, we just push to decrease the victory points that they have to decrease. Even taking, by the way, even taking regular provinces, when you take cities, if you go over it, you can see how many victory points you get. No? In this case, we get 1 victory point. Baku, which is the capital, will give us, the new capital, will give us 10 victory points, and so on. So taking cities, of course, gives you the most. But even just taking provinces, taking part of their land, will slowly decrease their victory points controlled and move you closer to winning the war. And I forgot to take the research. In a situation like this, with 26 days left on the collaboration government, probably your best option would be to just wait and get the collaboration government. But we are not stopping. We are Napoleon. We never stop. I feel we are very close.
Attention.
So, to be completely fair, I didn't tell them to go to Baku, so I probably should do that. We can try to rush Baku. I want to get... 11 days. I don't think we can... Ooh, it's gonna be very close. Just as a challenge, I would like to take them down before the collaboration government. X. Need this. Need this place.
Gardez vos rangs.
It's on. It was before the collaboration government. Okay, nice. A final challenge to celebrate the success of Napoleon in the Russian campaign. This is great news indeed, because now Napoleon was able to come back to avenge Waterloo and to avenge his worst defeat in the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union is down. Let's easily take care of the peace conference by just puppeting everything with resource rights and war reparations. We're also going to take the fairly small... Look at this. Chile's fleet is basically bigger than the Soviet fleet. We're going to take their fleets and confirm. And that is French Russia. Napoleon's wet dream comes true. Guys, this was an amazing run with the Napoleonic France, and this was the deserved grand finale. And this is what we control of the wood. Being non-aligned, it's a bit annoying to go for a full world conquest, so we're not going to do that. The last remaining, if we can call it that, the great power would be China. But I feel like it wouldn't be that challenging. In fact, we are going to play in China very soon, but not against... still against China, but as communist China. That will be a real challenge. But before that, guys, since I'm still working on that guide, not fully happy with the optimization level yet, there will be one more bonus episode about Napoleon. Remember how in the previous video I told you that if you're late after World War II to justify on the UK and the United States joins, that's not a problem. You can just invade the United States from Curaçao, and it's going to be basically the same thing. Well, it turns out I tried that and I lied to you. It's not basically the same thing. In fact, it's a massive pain in the ass to do so. So, since I lied to you and I told you it would be easy, it seems fair that now I need to show you how to do that as well. So there will be a bonus episode on our Napoleonic French Empire in which we fight the UK and the United States at the same time. And after that, finally, we're going to dedicate our efforts to make communist China great again. So guys, do not miss the next videos. It will be a lot of fun, many challenges, new things as well. So that's really all for this run. I loved these Napoleonic fronts. I hope you did as well. If you enjoyed these videos, please do not forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving me a comment. It really helps, more than you may think. Other than that, guys, if you stayed with me until now, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.